ridiculous. Coach Greg, in today's video, there's a country that actually taxes the people for being fat. And I'm not making this shit up, and it's been going on for several years. You probably didn't know this. I certainly did. So we're going to talk about, does this make sense? Does it actually work? And should they do it in North America?
This country taxes people for being too fat, and the results are actually quite shocking. So this country introduced a fat tax that forced every business to take mandatory waist measurements of their employees every year.
And so first things first, they're going to tax the employer, as in the boss of the employees, for them being fat. How is it my responsibility? If you're a boss and you have workers and they decide to eat too many cheeseburgers, then why am I being the one that's held accountable? And so to me, that doesn't make sense. You want to tax the people who are overweight and are obese? Well, let's talk about that. But why are we taxing the employer?
The limits were 33.5 inches for men and 35.4 inches for women.
Next, these numbers make absolutely no sense. Where do they come up with these? Men have to have a waist below 33.5 inches. And women, we're going to let them have a waist size of 35.4 inches. How does that make sense? Why is it that women who are shorter, smaller, and lighter allowed to have a bigger belly than men? That to me is ridiculous. And use your logic, your thinking caps. Is it not more normal for a man to have a larger waist than a woman? I mean, really look around. If I told you that I had a 34-inch waist, would you think that I'm fat? And so raise your hand if you think my waist is over 33.5 inches. Remember, if you're over 33.5, you're going to get an extra tax. And I, by the way, have approximately 8% body fat. Clearly, I'm not obese, but is my waist above 33.5 inches? Well, let's see. All right, I'm going to go around the belly button just to see. And 34.5 inches. And so that company would be taxed. But if I suck in my stomach, 31.5 inches. And so depending on if I'm breathing out or breathing in, it's going to give you two totally separate measurements. How many, raise your hand, think the employer is going to give an accurate waist size measurement, knowing that if it's above 33.5 inches, they're going to have to pay extra taxes? Like, really think about it. And remember this, if you're 6'6", you're very tall, and your waist is only 33.5 inches. That is a very tiny, very small waist. But if you're only 5 feet tall and your waist is 33.5 inches, then that's a lot. It's quite big. And so the taller you are, the larger the measurement should be. And on average, men are about 5 inches taller than women. And so why is it that women are allowed to have a larger waist than that of a man? Makes no sense. And imagine you walk around, start measuring people, getting the measuring tape out, body shaming goes on. Everyone at work is pointing a finger. That person had chips, beer, pizza, and so on. And so you're going to get fat shamed. The employers are not going to want to hire anyone who's overweight. Think of it. If you show up to a job interview and I see that you're 50 pounds overweight, do you really think I'm going to hire you? How is that going to be fair to the employees? There's no way you're going to hire someone if they're overweight if you know it's going to cost you more money than somebody's underweight.
And anyone who breached these numbers was required to go to weight loss classes funded by the employer.
And so think of it. It's funded by the employer. How is it the employer's fault? Why is it my fault as the boss that my employees are not in shape? I literally have 3,000 videos out. I try to help the world in order how to lose weight. I have cookbooks, a circle diet book, helping people how to lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life. But if they choose to ignore everything, they don't do 150 minutes of cardio a week, they don't eat healthy, don't lift weights, then why am I to blame? This is absolutely ridiculous.
Also, if companies couldn't reduce the number of overweight employees by certain thresholds each year, they would be subject to fines.
The companies are getting fined because their employees are eating burgers? Like, really? Like, how does any of this make sense? Why is it the companies that are in charge of this? Why don't we just blame the school teachers? Well, they go to school and any kid that's overweight, the teacher has to do burpees. Does that make sense? Think about it, people.
And while this law doesn't make obesity illegal, it can isolate you from everyone else at work.
And so it doesn't make obesity illegal, but imagine you're at work and you're the only one that's overweight. Only 4% of people in this country are overweight. Every country is different, and in particular in this country, they value being thin.
And also your managers would be punished if you didn't make any progress, which could cause a lot of mental stress.
And imagine you're a manager at a job, and rather than helping the staff, the workers be the best workers they can be, you're focused primarily on, are they eating in a calorie deficit? Are they doing cardio? And you might be thinking, well, yeah, that's good. They should be encouraging them. But why is it their job? Why isn't it the parents of the kids at school? And if anything, why isn't it not just on that person? Why are we passing the blame, passing the buck? Oh, you're overweight, we're going to punish your boss. Oh, you're not doing well, it's the teacher's fault. It's the parents. Why can't it be on the person that's not doing what they're supposed to do?
And the goal of this policy was to reduce the obesity rate by 25%. And as of today, the country's nationwide obesity rate is only 4%, making this policy a huge success.
And so this country, which I'm going to spoil it right now, it's in fact Japan, they have the lowest obesity rate in the world. And so did this law actually work? Well, based on this, I would say yes. But at what cost? And do we want to copy them? Do we want to do the same? Do you agree with this? Knowing that it could work, does that mean that we should implement it? Or could there be something different? Is there not a better way of going about getting the desired result than forcing companies, employers, bosses to measure the waist size of their employees? And then forcing these people to perhaps lose the weight, or else they're going to have an extra tax? You have to go to health and fitness classes provided by the employer. Do you really think that's going to make a difference? Oh, I have 5 employees that are overweight, and so I have to now pay $100 an hour for all of them to go and attend some fitness class. And do you think that's going to work? Of course not. Do you really think you can out-exercise a bad diet? Do you really think that attending some fitness class is going to ensure that they're going to lose weight? Absolutely not. Oh, you go to a fitness class, you're lifting weights. What do? Burn 300 calories in an hour? Perhaps you do some more advanced cardio. Burn 400 or 500 calories. That is not enough. You can get home and eat a cheeseburger and you eat more than 500 calories. And so it is not going to work. To lose the weight, you have to want it. You have to educate people, inform them how to do it, and they have to then want it. And so in 2008, Japan introduced the Metabo Law. Sounds like a metabolism law. All men and women aged 40 to 74 have to have their waists measured by their employer on an annual basis. Anyone who breached these figures was required to attend weight loss classes funded by the employer's health insurance company. And so think of it, this only applies to people between the ages of 40 and 74. And so if you're 39, you can be as fat as you want. Turn 40, nope, it's all over from there. If you show up to a job interview, 30 different people, and they see that you're on the cusp, you're a little bit overweight, perhaps not quite above the limit. Do you really think they're going to consider you for that job when they have 29 other candidates who are not obese? And remember, only 4% of the country is actually overweight. In comparison, the United States, 69%. And in case you're wondering, 36% are obese. And so when I say that somebody is overweight, I'm clearly speaking about most people. On average, the majority of people are overweight. And so if I say in a video and guess a person's overweight, I'm actually playing the odds. The odds are you watching this at home, you're overweight. Some of you, about 1/3, are probably obese. And it wasn't always like this, but it has been getting worse year after year. People are doing far less exercise, they're eating worse, and they're scrolling on their phones, they're watching TV, sitting at home, they're not going out anymore. It was even worse during that time period when you couldn't get out of your house. You know, they shut the gyms down as if that made sense. And so yeah, let's try to encourage people to be healthy, but let's prevent them from going to the gym and exercising. And so I don't know the perfect solution, but what I do know is that with education and knowledge comes power. If you inform people how to lose weight and get in shape, and you start this at a young age, it will change the mindset, the culture of our nation. As it is right now, people don't give a shit. I'm sorry, they do not. We promote binge eating. We say it's cool, go to a buffet, all you can eat. We celebrate every Friday. It's somebody's birthday cake. Eat more. Celebrate with food. Oh, you did great. Here's a reward. Here's more candies. Rather than having the mindset that exercise is cool and that we can have fun by being active, that is not what we promote. And so obviously, my cookbooks, my Circle Diet book, How to Lose Weight, Keep It Off for the Rest of your life, being able to eat lower calorie foods while keeping yourself full. Even Sam Zulik said this in his last video. If you want to lose weight, you need to eat lower calorie portions that keep you full. If you have 2 bowl options, one has a lot of calories, one has a little bit of calories, if you eat the one with less calories and it makes you full, you're going to have an easier time to lose weight. It really is that simple. That is why the cookbook works so well. You get to eat all your favorite foods. They're just made lower in calories. And so interested in the cookbooks or all my supplements, including the Seco bar, harder than last time, this bar, the best tasting one, please check it out. Click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off. Looking for the best supplement to help you lose weight? In my opinion, GO2 Max. The reason, gives you more endurance. You're able to burn off more calories, you have more energy, and so therefore it allows you to train harder than last time. And in the end, if you're in a calorie deficit, you are in fact going to lose weight. Code Greg, 10%
And
off. So let me know in the comment section, do you think they should implement this in your country? Should they add this tax? It's worked for Japan, but would it work for other countries? I personally don't think this would work in my country. I don't think the employers would be honest with the waist sizes. I think people would complain too much. I don't think they'd allow an employee to touch them, for example. You have a waistline, they'd have to show their bellies, perhaps. I don't think people allow that. But in the end, would it work? Could they implement this? Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm. Of course, watch one of the two bloops. And of course, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team, the Circle Diet Book, and the Harder Than Last Time clothing line. You can get it all on my website, as well as a free diet and training program. Remember, it is free. It's close to 50 pages. Enter your first and last name and your email address coming straight to you. And until next time, I am out.